Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today we're going to be decorating up this cute little zipper bag using Artistry Iron-On ink. So yes, we're playing with sublimation again today. And I decided that this time around I wanted to use a cling stamp. This one is a cling stamp from Hero Arts, and it is called... Would help if my eyes were a little bit better, but I will find the name of the stamp for you guys. It is a background stamp, and I think that having these little flowers on this bag is going to be super, super pretty. Everything Flower. I think that's the name. If you might be able to see it. It's teeny, 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 tiny up over on here with the barcode. Anyhow, that's what we're going to be using. So I've got my little bag here, and I've got a piece of regular copy paper. Only time that you need to use anything really thicker than regular copy paper is if you're going to be adding some kind of water or something to it. And I'm going to go ahead using a pencil and draw around the shape of my blank here. The reason we do that is so that we make sure that we get all of our design done right where we want it on our blank. And I'm going to also try to make sure that I don't get the lead on the edge of my blank here. I mean, it'll wash out. It's just pencil, but still, I'd rather have it not on there if at all possible. So kind of just being a little careful there. And this stamp is small enough that I'm going to be able to kind of finagle where it is. It's not going to go all the way to the edges on the sides. Okay, and I'm not going to worry about from the top. What I do need to worry about is this plastic zipper. Now, if you remember from the last video, the way that we add sublimation is through heat, right? So we don't want to get the heat too close to that. So I'm going to go ahead and say that my design is going to stop right about here, so that when I'm putting everything together, I can make sure I get it taped right in place and I don't go above that line. And I'm going to just use a ruler to draw a cross between those two little marks there. So I've decided I don't want the design to come all the way down to the bottom. I want it to be just a little bit up. So I'm going to use some purple tape. I have not tried this on regular copy paper, but I know it works fine on cardstock. So let's just try doing a little bit. Like I said, I don't want to do much. Right there is where my line is. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamp, and I decided I'm going to go with 3 different colors. This is some orange, and then we've got some pink, and then we've got some red. So it's going to kind of, I'm going to attempt for a little bit of an ombre kind of thing. So I'm going to start off with the red, and this is a brand new ink pad. I just took the plastic off. And I'm going to do that little shimmy across the edge so I can try to get a little bit lighter on this part. And then let's go with the orange on the other end. And the reason I'm doing this way is so that I can try to have as little contamination as possible with the other ink pads. And again, do that little bit of a shimmy. Because I do not yet have any dedicated blending brushes. So this one is, so we've got done orange and we've done red, and this one is pink, so it should be a lighter color. And now it's over some of the red, but okay. And again, do that little bit of a shimmy between the colors. And then we're going to see how this looks. I'm going to kind of center that, center it in, and then just put it down and press. Okay, and I want to make sure that this is straight. Now, I do think I've got my stamp a little bit crooked. It's not by much, and I'm not going to worry about that. Not too much anyway. Let's see how that looks. And it winds up looking, to me, it looks mostly red. So this is the orange, this is the red, and this is the pink. And that's okay. This is also a little bit splotchy because, of course, it would probably work better if I did it in my MISTI and could do it a second time. But I figured this is a big piece here. I'm not going to really worry about it too much. And you could, at this point, go in and go ahead and do some additional decoration. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use one of the stamps. This is a stamp set from Artistry. When you look at the stamps, you think that they're going to look, it looks a little weird compared to what we're used to when we look at photopolymer stamps for card making. Because when we look at them, usually we see everything looking the correct direction. Instead, these are backwards. And that's because we're going to stamp them down backwards onto our paper because it's going to transfer the right direction. And what I decided I'm going to use for this one, this stamp set has got friend, hello, peace, and yes, I turned them over so we can see what they say. Friend, hello, peace, love, happy, woof, and travel. And I figure this would be pretty nice for a little travel bag, right? So I'm going to use the travel and put that right over the top there. I want it to be down in the, I want it down in the lower right hand corner, which means I need to put it in the lower left hand corner. Okay, so what I'm going to use to do my little sentiment here, you can see that one says travel. I'm going to do that using some black, some of the black sublimation ink. So let me go ahead and get that inked up pretty well. And I'm going to line this back up with those bottom marks, all of those little marks that I put on there for my template. And that also helps you to get everything lined up pretty straight because you can't see through it, right? I'm going to tape it down on all 4 sides. And while we're doing this, I am heating up my heat press. The temperature for this bag is 400 degrees and we're going to need to have it, basically we're going to press it for 45 seconds. Another thing that you need to do after you tape everything down and before you put it on your heat press is you're going to need some protective paper. This protective paper is the protective paper from Artistry, and there are a lot of professionals out there that are using this, so this is going to be the best bet for you to use for this. I have seen some folks use butcher paper, but from what I understand, this stuff is better. And that means at this point, we're going to start creating a sandwich. A sublimation sandwich. So what we need first is we need our protective paper on the bottom. We need our blank and everything in the center. And then we need another sheet of the protective paper on the top. And I'm doing this while my heat press is heating up. So it may still be another couple of minutes for that. This is kind of how this is going to go. And then what you're going to need is you're going to need to make sure that your design part is the part that's going to be touching your heating surface. Now the machine that I'm using here has got a mat on the bottom and the top part has the heat, so I'm going to be doing it in this fashion. I also want to try to avoid that zipper area, so I'm going to have it pushed in this way and try to have the edge of my heating being around this area. Okay, so my machine is ready to go. This is the side that has the zipper on it, so I need to have it facing out because here's the edge of my platform, right? I'm going to go ahead and place this down. And I think I'm going to actually have to rearrange things a little bit before I press it, of course, but while I'm sitting here. So trying to line it up as best I can so that the zipper area is hanging off just a touch, and then I can put my other sheet of protective paper down. And now I'm going to go ahead and press this. Okay, and let's pull this off. I am going to go ahead and put down my protective mat. This is a protective mat from Artistry, and it's this thick, dense foam. And that's going to kind of protect my desk. Although it is a glass surface on here, it should be fine. Still, be extra careful. Now, one thing about this is that the reason for the protective paper is in case you have any ink that goes over. This has no ink on it, so I'll be able to use that again. So next, we're going to do a quick peek test to see if it worked. And you can see there is some orange there. Okay, so let's take a look and see what the finished project looks like since, oh, it didn't go through enough. Well, okay, this is what you do not want it to look like. That looks like it did not go through nearly enough. So I'm going to, since it's still in place, I'm going to reheat this so I can get that transfer to work better. Okay, this time it does look like there is more ink coming through, but let me take a look and see if where we've got the sentiment looks right. I'm kind of wanting to do one more, but I'm going to take a little bit more of a peek than that. So I'm thinking it doesn't look quite as dark as what I want, so I'm going to try pressing it one more time and see if I can get a better result. Yeah, I don't think I have enough ink on the paper to be able to do any more than that. But let's go ahead and reveal and see how that looks. If it turns out that I don't really like it, I've got a couple more of these. Each of the packages of the zipper pouches come with 2. So, big reveal. Yeah, I don't think I got enough ink down. I think I should have used my my Misty on that. Actually, I stand corrected. There are 3 pouches in each of these. So that means that if you did mess up on the first one is always a learning thing, right? You still have 2 more to be able to go with. And this will fit into my Misty. Now, I will have part of it hanging off the sides, but you know what? I don't care. I do need to take my foam mat out, and I'm going to put my sticky grid back in, and that is so I can hopefully hold my paper in there about where I want it. Okay, and then the piece that I'm going to go ahead and do a new piece of the tape, I think. That looks close. I think that is pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and start doing a little bit of stamping with my inks. Go ahead and go across like that. So this one is the orange. Let's go ahead and stamp that down. So this is the first stamping, and I think I'm going to probably do at least a couple to get plenty of ink down. Okay, and my sticky grid is definitely being a big help because it's keeping everything pretty much in place, so that is perfect. Okay, so it looks like there might have been, well, not necessarily. I was thinking there might be a little bit of shiftage, but I think it still looks really, really good. So now I've got my travel, and I'm going to put that over here down at the bottom. So now I'm going to add some of the black ink to my travel, to my sentiment there. Okay, so I can see it, but it's not real bold, so I do need to put a couple more layers of ink down. It's just not showing as much as what I'd like, and I want it to be more bold than that anyway, right? Let's press that back down. Okay. That looks better, but I think I want one more shot of the black. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So now I'll take this out. Now I can take it off of my sticky grid, and this is mostly ready to go for us to go ahead and sublimate it onto a pouch. So we're going to go ahead and again tape this down, and now we're going to go over to the heat press. So we've got the bottoms of our sandwich is the protective paper, then we have our design, and we're going to have the design face up. Then we're going to have a second piece of protective paper. I'm going to put this into my heat press and make sure that it doesn't go over to that zipper. We don't want the zipper to get melted. So we're going to take a quick peek and see how this one looks. So the orange is coming through really well. The red looks like it's coming through really well, and I can see some of the wording there, so that looks better. Okay, I'm going to take off one piece of tape and see how it looks. Get a bigger peek, because it's still going to hold it in place, and I'll still be able to repress if needed. So that does look pretty, that looks better, but I think I do want some more darker color, so I'm going to try pressing it one more time. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how this turned out. Okay, so I am going to say that this is a success. It could have been better. Yes, I did have a little bit of ink bleed into a couple of other areas, but you know what? This is handmade, and I think that anybody who receives that would be thrilled with it. Okay, so this is going to finish up this project for Artist Spree Iron-On ink. And you guys remember that if I can make it, you can too. You have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.